Hey to everyone who is new to Woodside, whether you're an incoming 6th grader or a move into a different grade. This video is meant to help you learn how to navigate Canvas the way that Woodside uses it. So on the screen here we have our login page, which is sacs.instructure.com, and then it will automatically fill in the rest of this for you. Your username is going to be your student ID number. And your password is going to be your locker combination, including your dashes. So it would be like 0-01-01. For this video, I'm actually going to use my daughter's account. She is a sophomore at Homestead, but Homestead uses Canvas kind of the same way we do. So we're just going to use her account for today. So on the dashboard, we've got all her classes listed, and as we scroll down, you can see more classes. And these are the classes that she is currently in. So each of you will have a WMS class of 2025, 2026, 2027. You'll have your math, your science, social studies, English, whatever classes you have, this is where they show up. Now on here, you have these 3 little dots all over the place. Anywhere these 3 little dots show up, that's so that you can change the way that you view your screen. So if we click on the dashboard one, right now the view that we have is the card view, which means little tiles. You can choose list view, which is more like a to-do list, or you can go to recent activity. On recent activity, this will show you everything that your teachers have put on there recently, including any announcements, any emails, any assignments, and discussion boards. I personally like to see the card view, but it's really up to you on that one. The 3 little dots on each of the cards let you change the name of the class and let you change the color. Now these are not the only colors that you can choose. If you know how to use hex codes, you can put a hex code in here and change the color that way as well. Just make sure you hit apply when done. And then you can also change the order of the cards. So let's say I didn't use this class of 2022 card very often. I could move it all the way down to the bottom of the screen. Now, since this is my daughter's account, I don't really want to mess with it all that much. The important thing on this screen is this to-do list over here, okay? On the to-do list, this gives you everything that your teachers have given you a date on. So, for example, this little megaphone is an announcement from her honors English teacher that is a reminder about periods 2 and 3. So if I click on it, I get an alert that says, reminder, periods 2 and 3 should attend Zoom sessions tomorrow. And this was period 2, period 3. And once I read that, I can just hit my little dashboard button again. We wait for the to-do list to load, and it's still on here. If I already know that it's there, and I don't need another reminder, I can hit that little X and it's off my to-do list. I like to use the to-do list to keep track of everything that I have going on so that I know I have things turned in like I'm supposed to. Next thing on here is a piece of paper with a little pencil. That means it's an assignment. So this was her mother sauce lab, which was part of her cooking class at Homestead. So if I click on that, it says it was due April 26th. And that she didn't submit it yet. The thing is, they did this one in class together, so she really didn't have to submit this one here. But for you guys, if it's on here and it says it was due over a week ago, you're going to want to hit Submit Assignment, choose your file, and turn it in that way. Once I know that it's done, I go ahead and I hit the X on it. Okay. When you see one that looks like a calendar, that's an event that your teacher has made for you just to kind of remind you that something is going on that day. It's not something you have to turn in. Okay. Now, Grace, my daughter, told me I could get rid of all these. I asked her to keep some of them on there for me so that I could use them for this video. The little rocket ship is a quiz. And then you can hit Show All, and it will change that view back to list view, and everything shows up on here. Okay, and it shows up for the following week, not for the previous week. that's kind of like why I like the card view, is so that I can see everything past and present, not just present. So I'm going to go back to my card view. Now, next thing I want to look at, if we scroll down, recent feedback. This is everything that she has turned in and gotten feedback from her teacher on. So the first thing on here is from March 18th and 19th e-learning from that cooking class that we just looked at, where she submitted a Word document and she also submitted a YouTube link, and her teacher replied to her, "Love the video music." So for this one, she had to make cookies and show like pictures and videos of her making the cookies, and then we found some music on YouTube to put in the background. And it was a song about making cookies, which I'm guessing is why she liked it. You're always going to want to check this recent feedback area to make sure that your teacher didn't say anything. Specifically for ISB Tech, anytime that you don't get full points, like here she got a 5 out of 7 for something, if this was for our tech class and you were to click on Unit 9, Day 7 notes, there would be a comment here saying why you lost those 2 points and how you can earn them back. A lot of teachers at Woodside are going to use that comment box to make sure that you can get the most points possible. Okay, those will always show up in recent feedback, and like see, it says she has 18 more in the past 2 weeks. And again, I asked her to leave all this stuff up for me, but that's kind of help you make sure you're keeping track of things. Next thing we're going to look at is the calendar. The calendar is going to be the most important page that you use in Canvas to keep track of everything. So for Canvas, it automatically defaults to a month-long calendar. So we get wherever May 1st is, which happened to be on a Friday, we're going to get that whole week all the way to the end of May. So, and then since this one happens to go a little longer, May 31st is the Sunday, so we get the first week in June as well. What the teachers at Woodside do is on the Sunday agenda, you will have the agenda listed for your class, for every one of your classes. And when you click on it, it tells you what to expect for class that week. So, for example, in her algebra class, she has Monday and Tuesday are Unit 9 notes, and Wednesday, Thursday are still Unit 9 notes. And I can't really see the rest very well, so I'm going to go ahead and click on where it says Algebra 2 Agenda, so it opens up in this new window for me and I can see everything better. So he has his video notes here because, of course, we're making this video during the Corona crisis and we're all doing online learning. So video notes show up. He has a resource room. Then I can actually click on anything that's underlined in red because it's a hyperlink. So then I can print on the notes and it gives me a Word document downloaded. This would take her to the Math Excel website for her assignment for the day. And then he even has his email hyperlinked in here. You notice that up here now, it takes us to the actual class. So now if I click home, it's going to take me to the home page of the algebra class. Go to announcements. He's got a couple of announcements on there, and the announcements will show up for the entire quarter. Assignments are the current ones that are available and when the last ones were due. So if you can't find an assignment on the calendar, this is where you go. You go to the assignments tab on the particular class. On here, it'll show you Unit 9, Day 6 notes were due May 1st, and the assignment is closed, so if she didn't turn them in on time, she wasn't going to get any points for those. We can also go to her grades, and this is only the grades for her algebra class. So we scroll down, it shows all her grades just for the class. Pages is all the hyperlinks that the teacher wanted to give her that would help her. And look, there's a beautiful picture of her math teacher and his family. Gives a little information about him. Syllabus has the actual syllabus for the course in here, plus all your agendas for previous months and weeks are in here as well. If your teacher uses modules, those will show up and then he has Google Drive linked to his class. We're going to go back to calendar because remember, that's where the weekly agenda is for every single class that you take. So Algebra 2, Chemistry, US History, English, her cooking class, Spanish 2, and she's in yearbook. So those all showed up in here. Then, in addition to what shows up on the Sunday agenda, if you have an actual assignment to turn in, those will show up on the day that they're due. So we have a quiz for Spanish 2. These are assignments, and we can tell because of that little icon. The paper with the pencil is an assignment. The little rocket ship is a quiz. And when they get a cross through them like this, that means that she's already turned it in. So if I were to click on this and click on the assignment name again, and it says resubmit, and it says submitted here, that means that she turned in her work and she is good to go. Now, if we look for, say, this one, which is an assignment, and it doesn't have a line through it, it says Final Review Guide and Zoom meeting links. So if I click on that, it's a downloaded document, but there wasn't actually anything to turn in. See how points available is 0? That's why it's not crossed through, is there's nothing for her to actually turn in here. So even though it was an assignment, we can't get a cross line through it. And it continues like that all through this week. And then her teachers haven't posted any assignments for next week yet, which is pretty normal. We usually have to post them on the Sunday before. So that gives you an overview of the calendar. One more thing I want to show you on the calendar is over here on the right. If we hit the colored boxes, you'll notice that the assignments on the calendar are disappearing as we go. That little box that turns the words light gray turns off that class for you so that you won't be able to see it on your calendar. You can still see it in your courses, but your calendar is kind of like your agenda. It's how you keep track of what you're supposed to do in class. So you need to make sure that all your colors stay turned on so that you can make sure you can see all of your class's information on here. Last thing on here is the inbox. This is your email. This is where your your teachers and you can send messages back and forth to each other to make sure that you have all the information you need. We at Woodside do not ever turn in work through messages. If you have an assignment to turn in to Canvas, you have to turn it in through the assignment link. If you decide that you want to turn it in this way, so like let's say she wanted to turn in an assignment here, and we were going to send it to her teacher. And you attached it, we will not accept work that way. You won't get a grade for it. You'll probably get a message back from the teacher saying, hey, turn this into the assignment link. We're not actually going to send a message to her teacher though. So that is a pretty brief overview of how to use Canvas. Of course, if you have any questions, you can ask Mr. Underwood, Mrs. Swanigan, or really any of your teachers would be more than happy to help you with that. Remember, big important things are the to-do list, the recent feedback, and your calendar. And do not submit your assignments through a message. If you have any questions, let us know.